Peace, how you doing? This is Dr. Samori Swygert signing in, and today I just want to touch briefly on the topic of music, and I'm going in the direction of rap, hip-hop, and the artist Young M.A. Now, first things first, out the gate, this is not a hate audio blog, because I know, being a avid fan of hip-hop, somebody that studies hip-hop, connoisseur of hip-hop, somebody born in Brooklyn, raised in Queens, from the late 70s to early 80s. I know how rap goes. I know how the game goes. I know how the industry manipulates information and commentary for beef, and more so for ratings and clickbait, and turn things into something that they're not. Now, what am I talking about? As an avid fan, a proponent and advocate for rap and hip hop, I love seeing new artists come on the scene. When we think of hip hop, we think of the pillars of hip hop. Graffiti. We think of DJing, MCing, breakdancing, and dressing. Now we've also seen one-hit wonders in hip hop. We've also seen artists that have tremendous staying power for decades. And then we have these artists that can really captivate and magnetize the audience and the nation. We think of the artists. This is why we always say, like, the top 10. You think of Big Daddy Kane. You think of Rakim. You hear the Biggies. Nas. You hear Black Thought. There's some artists that just like, man, Eminem. These artists really can flow, and their delivery, their bravado and their mannerisms and how they carry themselves, their swag, it plays a very big part in their whole mystique, or just their whole celebrity status. It all plays a part into their celebrity. Now, by now, if you're, depending on your age category, Young M.A. is a young female from Brooklyn, New York, if I'm not mistaken, Brooklyn, and she's really captivating the airwaves and the audience, mesmerizing. And I will say, I'll definitely take my hats off to the sister. She's got bars. She can spit. She got flames. And some of the guys that are out right now, I'm pretty sure, as we say in rap, she'll body them lyrically. She is definitely. It reminds me of when MC Lyte came out in the 80s. How MC Lyte was. It was no games. It was no games. Like, if you as a male wanted to battle MC Lyte, you make sure that you pack a lunch and be ready, well trained, to go toe to toe, blow for blow, lyrically with her, because MC Lyte wasn't playing any games and wasn't taking any prisoners. Now, where am I going with it? Is that I made a post today on my social media page. And I said the only thing that kind of gets me, it's the only thing that gets me about Young M.A.'s celebrity, rising celebrity, is that, and you can't make me out to be a liar, because if you follow rap and hip hop, then you know that I'm telling the truth. One thing that gets me is that rappers have been lambasted, chastised, and bashed by the media, by our elders, and and rightfully so. As you get older, you mature, for the degradation of women, the misogyny that goes on. This is a bitch, this is a trick, this is a hoe, this is a slut. I'm gonna pimp her, and X, Y, and Z. She gonna give me head, and I'm gonna make her spread that. I'm gonna bust it wide open. And all, it's to the point where you're like, yo, wow, like, is that what you're really gonna do to the black woman? And then later on, you're going to have kids by a black woman, and then you kind of fall back off of that. You don't want your daughter to be exploited in the manner in which you discuss women in your lyrics. You would be damned if your daughter becomes a trick or a slut, or you be damned if you find out that your daughter is being pimped out and slutted out and hoed out and tricked out in X, Y, and Z. And so we've seen how rappers have had to confront that duplicity. Rappers have had to confront the doublespeak and the hypocrisy of their lyrics. And I think a lot of it has to do with maturation, where, as a young rapper, you think about machismo, bravado, trying to be hard and X, Y, and Z. But then as you grow older and you mature, you start to understand, that, look, hey, I have a woman that I really care about. I have a genuine concern and love for her. I care for her. I'm committed to her. I'm dedicated to her. Shoot, we have daughters together. I don't want my daughter being treated like this. The conversation changes. And you then realize, you reflect, you recollect on what people have been saying about how injurious the lyrics and the videos of rap music that the industry condones and publicizes, how injurious it can be to women and just to blacks in general in America. And so looking at the history, it's like, well, we've seen it before with male artists. Why are we going to tolerate it now with a female artist? And here's the thing, where we male artists and black males, at some point in time, a lot of us, we're going to have to eat a little bit of crow. We're going to have to eat some crow, because what young M.A. is doing, saying in her rhymes, it's mirroring much of the same bravado, machismo, the lyrics, the denigration and degradation of our black women, our black queens, our mothers, our daughters. She's mirroring everything that we've ever said in rap. Not saying that all male rappers said that, because that's not true. But there was a very good majority. There's been a very strong, healthy portion of black male artists that have profited and gained. The industry has gained millions to billions of dollars from the degradation of black women. If we go all the way from like Sir Mix-a-Lot to 2 Live Crew, Luke. I mean, just all the way up to now. It still goes on. All till the present day, till 2016, it still goes on. So she's mirroring it. So we do, as black men, as artists, black male rap artists, we are kind of complicit. We are complicit in this, because she's grown up. Young M.A. has grown up listening to this, seeing this, saying like, look, this is the artist. If you want to get into the rap game, and this artist is the pinnacle of the rap game, this artist is what's hot, this artist is going gold and platinum, well, then you naturally are going to say, well, I want to go gold, I want to go platinum, maybe I need to kind of follow that blueprint. And so this is where you get the emulation and the mimicking of maybe style and content. And so one thing, though, is that at some point in time, we have to draw the line and say, enough is enough. We're in the 21st century where the integrity of blacks in America is truly under fire. And, we look, we're in a new presidential administration where we see every day that white supremacists are turning up. They're turning up the temperature is turning up, the screws are tightening, the doors are closing, the pressure is rising, the racial attacks are immense, and it's only going to get worse. We haven't even gotten to Inauguration Day, and it's over 1,000 racial attacks that we've seen. So we have to get to a point where we're not degrading each other. I'm not degrading my queen. I'm not degrading the black women. As black women, we're not degrading black men. We're not degrading our kings. We're not degrading our princes. We have to uplift our daughters, uplift our sons. We have to get to a harmonious balance in the way that we engage and interact with each other. We have to get to a point where we can respectfully critique and correct and be receptive of real critique and correction. And so when I had made a post on my social media page, a lot of women were like, they agreed with what I was saying. I was like, she as an artist, if I was to take away what she says about women, as a rap artist, as a hip hop artist, she's still dope. She's still dope. You can't take that away from her. But it's the same misogyny that we heard from men. It's just coming from a female, and this is, we're at a point where we're talking about intersectionality, where different dynamics of lifestyle start to intersect, because she's a female and she also identifies with the LGBT community. And so when she's talking about actually, like, having a girl go down on her, or having a girl deep throat, her, and, just all different types of, like, lewd acts, sexual acts, that if a guy was to say it, he would probably be condemned, and it'd be viewed as vile and disrespectful. Now it's the same lyrics, it's just coming from a woman. So the question is, should we tolerate it? Is it acceptable? Is it respectable? Do we condone this? Or do we come down on it with the same intensity, the same scrutiny, the same stringent analysis that we applied to black male artists that were degrading our women? And so that's the vein that I'm in right now. And my answer is, we should come down on it in the same manner. And a lot of the women that were commenting on my post, they held the same thing. They said, look, no. They were actually having discussions with a lot of their homegirls. And they were saying, like, look, no, it's still not acceptable, because it's still degrading black women. It's still degrading womanhood, and we don't accept it. So that's something that, even if young M.A. is listening, or she has her handlers that may be listening, that, look, black women are even saying that, no, this is not acceptable. It's not palatable. It's not tolerable. It's not acceptable. So what I would say is, with young M.A.'s very sharp, very pensive, very gifted delivery and lyrical dexterity, her ability to captivate the audience, all you have to do, my queen, is just tweak your verses. You don't have to, throw our women under the bus. You haven't even really even embarked on the fullness of your career. You are at a very critical point where you could turn the whole game around. You could turn the tide around and use those same lyrics to uplift and speak to the people, to the audience, to the crowd. And you could be the pioneer of a whole new generation. That power is in your hands. That torch is in your hands. It's all on you, how you want to play it. And that's speaking directly to young M.A. So with that being said, I'm going to be out. And the other thing that I will say is this before I close out. I'm also thinking about the prison industrial complex. Being somebody that was born in Brooklyn, raised in Queens, the 80s and 90s was crazy. And I've seen, I don't want to say that rap equals incarceration, but we have seen how rap has been used as a tool, as an instrument, as some auxiliary aid to mold the mind state of susceptible and vulnerable individuals that don't have anybody in their ear to help filter the message with reality. I've seen people waste their lives in the drug game, in the theft game. I've seen people go to jail, seen people die. And it's like, yeah, because if every day all you hear is, I'm busting my guns, I'm loading my clip, you know, I'm pushing kilos, I'm copping birds, I got to push this whip, the more luxurious, lavish lifestyle that people push for you to have, but you don't have any real true means and processes that are legal to obtain that, you're going to resort to a life of crime if you don't have somebody in your ear saying this is not necessarily reality, and the way in which you need to get that, it's not going to be by violence and the drug game and or gang activity. And so I don't, with her, she may have a lot of young women that are looking up to her, because she also represents, and I can see it, she represents an angle of feminine strength. And so she may have a lot of young women that are susceptible. They're looking for mentors and role models. And the same way that we may have, as a young male growing up in New York, the same way that I looked at Big Daddy Kane and idolized Big Daddy Kane, you never know who you're modeling for. And so we think of, what's the hit show, Orange is the New Black, or something like that. We think of the mass incarceration in the prison industry, and how so many women the prison industry has made millions and billions of dollars off of incarcerating people, and particularly black men. And now we're seeing that surge also being redirected to black women. And so I don't want young M.A. to be used as a tool and an instrument or a vessel to fuel the surge in the incarceration of our black women, because of the mind state of young girls that may be susceptible and vulnerable, because they don't have somebody with a vested interest that can filter, what are just lyrics for a song as reality, and then they engage in criminal activity that'll get them locked behind bars for years and decades of their life. We can't lose a generation of queens. We need our queens out here helping, being participants, being active participants, working with our men, working with our children, and showing them and guiding them to a more positive image of ourselves, and just bringing to a new frontier, because we're in the 21st century. We're in a whole new era that we've never even been in before. We're embarking on a whole undiscovered path. We need all hands on deck, ready, willing, and able to push the black family forward. So with that being said, I'm out. If young M.A. is listening, listen, my hat's off to you. Props off to you, sister. Just think about what I said. It's no disrespect to you at all. Continue doing what you're doing, but I really want you to think about what I'm saying to you. This is Dr. Samori Swygert signing out in love and respect. You can hit me on Twitter at DocSwag06, DOCSWAGG06. You can hit my man Vigilante on Twitter at VIGALANTEE. This is 3 minutes and some. This is 3HM, 2 minutes and some change. YoBlackWorld.net, and I'm out. Peace.